Well, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Touch. I'm Darwin Campbell. Morning Touch is brought to you by the Chaplaincy for the Homeless and the FSBC in Glendale. Hey, just in case you forgot, today is Valentine's Day, a day that you express your love to your loved one, your husband, your wife, that girl or guy that you may be dating that may become your husband or your wife one day. Today's that day to let them know how special they are. But we're going to talk a little bit deeper, more than just surface presentation, more than just candy, more than flowers, more than kisses. We're going to talk about God's definition, understanding what love is on this Valentine's Day. We're going to be in Songs of Solomon, probably a well overlooked book by many. Chapter 4, verses 1 through 11. It is the perfect description of someone letting another know. Solomon letting his love know about his deep feelings. Stick with us. We'll be right back. You know, when I think about love, I think about my grandparents who were married over 60 plus years before death separated them. It was a love like no other. It was a love was a classic example to me. My friends, they stayed together and they stuck it out through the ups and downs of life, through the thicks and thins, through the challenges. I never will forget that picture I took of them walking back to their home. I had to leave to go on an assignment as a journalist. There was a big flood and we were covering that in Missouri. But I never will forget the picture I snapped of them walking back to the house, arm in arm, holding hands. Honestly, it brought tears to my eyes when I think about what they did when they raised me and how much sacrifice they made, not only to me, but to many of their grandchildren they raised. They are and were a demonstration of love, and I thank them for that, and I acknowledge that. But my friend, Song of Solomon tells us and describes perhaps the eyes of my grandmother and the eyes of my grandfather and their love. In Songs of Solomon 4, behold, thou art my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove eyes within thy locks. The hair is as a flock of goats that appear from Mount Gilead. Then we have a description of her teeth, a description of her lips, a description of her neck, a description of her breasts. In verse 7, it says this, thou art all fair. After that great description, he says, thou art all fair, my love. There is no spot in thee. Verse 9, thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. Thou hast ravished my heart with one of thine eye and one chain of thy neck. How fair is thy love, my sister, my spouse. How much better is thy love than wine, even better than wine, or thine ointments than all spices. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. My friends, that's love. That is a very vivid description of love, of enchantment, of charm. And if you don't know what love is today, go to Solomon chapter 4 and start to understand how God uses Solomon to describe how we should love our spouse, how we should love our mate. There's some characteristics there that are unmeasurable and indescribable, but yet they are true. And I could see a lot of that in my grandparents, the love they had for each other. My friends, God is love. God defined love from the very beginning. He said, let every person leave father and mother and cleave to wife. Cleave to your wife. Cleave to your husband. Find a mate. He has encouraged love and relationships. Now, this description by Solomon is a perpetual view of how he sees love. And it's how we should see love, no matter how old our spouse gets. Yeah, we look good like that brand new car when we meet each other. But over the years, the miles build up, the weight comes on, our skin droops, wrinkles start to appear. But love means you see that woman or that man perpetually. You see them as beauty described no matter what the age. It is the mark and the standard of how we view our loves, our spouse, our wives, and our husbands. We love with heart and with spirit. You see, society in America has lost that. They dropped the ball with more than 50% of relationships failing. They've dropped the ball because cheating is at an all-time high. There's so much out there, I want more. The grass is greener on the other side. But Solomon says, you ought to be charmed by your beloved. Your description of her or him should be colorful and unique, no matter what year of the relationship. Valentine's Day marks a reminder of the relationship, but it should be a daily thing. We should be loving our mates with all our hearts, loving our mates with all our spirit, loving our mates with energy and passion and care from day one to day 100. Let this Valentine's Day be the mark or the day that you learn that you should love that mate and that spouse with agape love. You love them God's way. You describe them, whether it's their teeth, their lips, their neck, their breasts, their eyes, their hair. You describe them the way that Solomon described his mate in Songs of Solomon 4, my friends. That you see your mate as one who is always fair. You're fair, my love. There is no spot in thee. That's love, my friends. You see, God wants us to have successful relationships. God wants marriages that last and godly marriages that focus on God and building up one another do last. I submit to you, my brother, he's been married over 45 years. I married them over 45 years ago, and they're still together. That's right. What a wonderful relationship that is. What a wonderful example that is. My friends, godly marriages and relationships are designed to last. Both spouses must have unwavering truth, unwavering faith, and give unwavering support and integrity and faithfulness to the relationship. I saw that in my grandparents. I see that in my brother. Yeah, they have spats and differences, but they are still together and they love each other like no other. You know, I can't say enough about that. But when you love one another beyond Valentine's Day is every day. Every day you're bringing her flowers, you're bringing her cards, you're bringing her candy. Every day you are letting her know or letting him know just how special he or she is to you. That's when you know you got it. That's when you know you're there, my friends. When you can see beyond those things and you ignore the world and its temptations and the world and its challenges, and you ignore social media and its temptations to say, oh, I love another. Oh, she's better than mine. Oh, I want to go searching. My friends, when you truly love your wife in a godly way, that doesn't happen. You're always giving. You're always complimenting. You're always sharing and making memories together. It is a love that grows stronger. It is a relationship that's more stronger than super glue or gorilla glue. It is a relationship that sets harder than cement, that no one can stand between it. No one can break that bond. No one can stop the growth of the relationship that you have, because you have eyes for her and she has eyes for you. And like Solomon, when you look upon and gaze upon one another, you see thou art all fair, my love. There is no spot in you, verse 7. Thou art all fair. There is no spot. My friends, it's a love where appreciation is shown every day. Whether you bring her breakfast in bed, or whether you're still opening the car door or the door of the store before you enter in, or the restaurant. My friends, it's doing the little things. How do you make a marriage last? You focus on the little things, and you do the little things each and every day, one for another, my friends. You look out for one another. You support one another. God wants your relationship to last. He does not want it to fail. He does not want it to end. Let everyone leave father and mother and cleave to your wife, cleave to your husband. The both two become one flesh, and that one flesh grows and flourishes and develops the way the Bible wants it to. I call upon you this Valentine's Day. Kiss your wife, kiss your husband, hug your wife, hug your husband, walk through the park hand in hand. Do something sweet and nice for each other, not just today, but each and every day. Go with her to the doctor's office. Sit with her through chemotherapy. Let her know that she is special, no matter what. My friends, it's time for love to return to relationships. Relationships do fail, but they fail miserably because we do not master the principles of love that God has given us. We need to practice that Pauline principle. As we wind this down, the Morning Touch brought to you by the Chaplaincy for the Homeless and the FSBC in Glendale. Let me tell you how Paul describes love. 13 and verse 4. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. Look at verse 7 and 8. Love, it does not delight in evil. It rejoices in truth. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. My friends, the key to a successful relationship, man and wife, husband and wife, man and woman, you've got to practice the Pauline principles of 1 Corinthians 13 in your life and in your relationships. Marriages were built to last forever if we practice the Pauline principles. Marriages will last to grow and develop if we can look through our eyes, and she looks through her eyes, and she sees, thou art fair, my love. There is no spot in thee. My friends, if we want our relationships to last, we must practice the Pauline principles each and every day. And we must say, love is patient, kind, does not envy, does not boast. It protects. It's always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. My friends, that's how you build a relationship to last forever. And I hope it is your desire this Valentine's Day to say, I am going to go back, re-examine what I'm doing in my relationship with my spouse. If I'm doing something wrong, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to right the ship. We're going to make this work together. Both you and her, practicing 1 Corinthians 13, the Pauline principle of love. Love never fails when we do it God's way. Let me say that again. Love never fails when we do it God's way. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Go and kiss your spouse, hug your spouse, and tell them from Songs of Solomon 4 verse 7, Thou art all fair, my love. There is no spot in thee. If you do that, that's better than a $10 card. God bless you. God keep you. See you next time on The Morning Touch.